Good evening, dear all. Welcome to EWB Thursday series of webinars. And today we are so excited to introduce our speaker. Today we are hosting the EWB Innovative Teacher of the Year 2023, Sarvinoz Komilova. Let's greet Sarvinoz Komilova. Yay!
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Sarvinoz. Yeah, congratulations once again on
Thank you
receiving
so
this
much.
prestigious awards. And of course, like everyone knows that EWB social media pages are going beyond Tajikistan. It means like lots of teachers around the globe are watching, following us. And of course, it means that you are becoming a celebrity and hope that of course, during 2023 and 2024, you will deliver the message to all the English language teachers, yes, that everything is possible, hard work is always paid off, and of course, like teachers have a great power to change, for the positive and to change the mindset of the students, and everything is in our hands. And today, Sarvinoz Komilova will talk about the innovative use of social media in teaching English. And let me just briefly share some introduction about our speaker. Sarvinoz Komilova is a master's level English instructor with experience in both online and offline teaching. She is passionate about using technology to engage her students and help them achieve their goals. And she is also a teacher trainer and dedicated to sharing her knowledge with others. Sarvinoz was chosen as the best English instructor of 2022 by the University of Central Asia School of Professional and Continuing Education. And, this year she became the EWB Innovative Teacher of the Year. And of course, she's a valuable asset to the SPC Bokhtar community as well as English Without Borders community. And dear all, please use this chance to ask your questions to our speaker today. You can unmute yourself to ask questions after a presentation or leave your questions in the comment box on Facebook or in Zoom chat box, and we will make sure Sarvinoz will reply to your questions. And finally, over to you, Sarvinoz. Go ahead. And once again, great job. Please go
Thank
ahead.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for such a warm welcome and introduction. Yeah, I'm also kind of, beyond excited to be chosen as, Innovative Teacher of the Year. For me, it was like, a dream come true, to be honest. And yeah, and I'm willing to share everything I know, everything I'm learning. I'm still learning. And hopefully, this session also will be useful to a lot of people. And yeah, if you have any questions coming, I will be happy to answer as much as I can, as much knowledge I have. So let's start. Okay, so this is a kind of the session which I had and I was chosen as Innovative Teacher of the Year. And it's also the session which I had during the conference. So please give your feedback of what you think and how if you find it useful or no. Okay, so during this session, we'll be discussing some activities which I have. Okay, and some resources which I will be sharing with you. I find them very useful, and of course, some websites as well. Okay, so for the to start with, let's read some quotes. What some teachers said about usage of social media during lessons, during classes, and let's see if you agree. If you agree with them, or how do you feel about them? Okay, do you agree that we should use social media? We should teach students use social media wisely and effectively. Any comments on this? Okay. So far, no. Okay, let's move on to the second quote, and let's see, maybe you have something to say about next one. Any comments on this? Do you use social media? Do you ask your students whether they use social media? Do you ask them how they use social media?
Sarvinoz, there are some comments in the chat box. Yeah, you can just see them.
Okay. Nice. Good comments. Yep, I really like that. Like students will use social media anyway, right? We cannot just stop them from using it, but as teachers, it's our job, right? Like to show them how they can use it effectively. And as English teachers, we can also show them how can they, learn English through social media. So first, as a warm-up for my lesson. Okay. Sorry, I have some technical issues, I guess. Okay, so for warm up, I do this top 5 quiz. This is very interesting game. The rule of this game is that you will have some questions and you will ask your students to write one answer only. Okay, so they will write only one answer. And as you can see, there are some answers and you will not show them yet. Once the students finish writing the answers, then you will start revealing answers one by one so they can see how many points did they get. Okay, so you can do it like, individually, or you can ask their pairs, their partners to check. For example, if the question, what do you do on the internet? Students write their answer, they swap their answers with the partners. And if their answers are in this top 5, they will earn these points, respectively. And then at the end, you will count like who has more points. Of course, you can ask several questions on this PowerPoint. And this PowerPoint is taken from Games for ESL. And this PowerPoint can be adapted to any level. It can be adapted to any age, actually. So this one is really useful. I will be sharing the website on the chat maybe as well. So just you can download it and then adapt it to your need. But the other option which you can use is like, technology thing. If you and your students can have access to good internet, to the phones, you can do this warm-up through this website, which is called CurryPod. You can create a poll. They will be just, joining your game using this pin. Like students will enter this pin and they will just, see the questions on their phones and give their answers, and you will be able to see the answers on the screen. And what is good about this website is that it also has AI integrated in it. So you can ask AI to generate you some questions so you can edit them later, or you can create your own questions. Like it's up to you. So if your class and you are technologically advanced, this option would also work very well for warm-ups for any topics. And my questions were about social media. Okay, so let's come back to this one. Any questions so far? Okay, so this is how it's going to look on student's phone. They will enter the PIN, they will see the questions on their screen, and everyone will be able to see the answers on the board or TV which you have. So this way they can just, they can stay anonymous, and it will be a good warm-up for their discussion. Okay, so Let's move on. So this will be good warm up, and then let's move on to lead in of the lesson. For the lead in, I show them how I use social media. So I created this chart where I've written all the social medias I use, and I've written also what I use them for. Like Instagram, I use for watching reels, like, staying up to date. I use YouTube to listen to songs, watching educational videos, and I give this free template to the students and ask them to complete from their experience. They will write their own experience. What social media do they use and what do they use them for? So it would be very nice if you had this template on the board with how you use it, because students will be able to see and then write their own ones. After they finish writing their own, you will ask them to compare with their partners, like who uses what social media and what do they use it for. So they will analyze, they will compare, and it will be a good way of discussion, the good way of, the good topic for discussion. So they will be also able to see like how many social media do their partners use and what for. So they will finish, they will compare it with each other. And then what I usually do during this time, I put timer. And I will show you one website which is very good. I really like it. I use it almost in all my lessons. It's called Classroom Screen. This is kind of, electronic board. The name of this is Classroom Screen. So it has several features, as you can see. Like background, you can change the background. You can choose any picture you want. Here you can create polls. Which could also be very useful when you do as warm up. You can create polls. Here you can make randomizer. You will write the name of your students. It will randomly choose them. So this board is very nice. The only drawback of this website is that on free version you cannot save whatever you have created. So I usually prepare everything before my lesson, and during my lesson I use it. So here's the timer which I use during my lessons, and here it looks like this. So you can just choose how much time do you want your students to speak. And if you chose 2 minutes, you will press on play, and after 2 minutes it will make the sound like ding. So it will be a signal for your students to stop. And it has several, very useful features, like it has dice. You can choose electronic dice, It has text. You can use it as a board here. You can type everything you want. It has drawing, you can draw whatever you want. Like if you have e-board, you can just, write with your hands. It has group makers. You write the name of your students and it will just, make groups for you. Okay, like this is group maker. And this website is very nice. So if you have internet and if you have laptop and TV, you can use it as timekeeper and time saver actually. So this is the screenshot of this website. And I use it a lot. So, and after the students finish analyzing their own answers, what you will do, you will put this video. So here in this video, let's just watch it a bit.
Sarvinoz, I think you didn't share the sound when you started sharing screen. That's why we can see it.
Let's just, tell me about the video. In this video, people are answering those two questions, like what social media do you use and what do you use them for? So students, after analyzing each other answers, they will watch the video and then they will compare their own answers with answers from the video, and they will see like who is similar to them or who is different from them. So it will be again a good topic for discussion. And here in the video we have several ages, like different ages of people answering those questions. So if you have like students of different age, it will be a good one to kind of analyze and compare. Okay, and as an alternative, you can also just make your own video. Like you can ask this question from people, make a video and put it for your students, and people will like your students will see authentic video, which will be even more interesting. So it's like if you're kind of up to it, if you have time, this also a good way of showing the video. Okay, so and after they finish analyzing like who uses internet what for, social media what for, I show them some memes. Do you like memes? Okay, I think everyone likes memes. I love them. I enjoy like reading them and seeing them. And this is the meme which is related to the teachers, of course. So you can show them like different memes, and you can ask them like, what is it? Maybe they will say it's meme because they kind of can mispronounce it, but you can tell them that it's meme, and you can ask them like, hey, do you like them? Do you think they're funny? So you can show them several memes from the internet, and from these memes you can move to your objectives. Like my last meme kind of shows wasting time on social media, or using social media to help them learn. So you will ask like, hey guys, can you guess what is our topic of lesson going to be? So you will hear some answers and you will get some fun ideas as well. And then you will like from this meme you will move on to the objectives. I know some people maybe write objectives at the very beginning. They introduce objectives at the very beginning of the lesson, but with lesson plans usually you can be flexible. It's okay to just move stages a bit, and this is a good thing to experiment as well. So in this lesson I tell them the objectives after the lead-in and before teaching vocabulary. Sometimes you can even do it at the very end, like, guys, can you tell me what were the objectives of today's lesson? So with this you can be flexible when you design your lesson plan. Flexibility is also good. So you will present them the lesson objectives. Like in this lesson, students will be able to talk about social media benefits, like they will use some conditional phrases, and they will use new vocabulary in the context, and then they will kind of discuss and analyze how can they use social media to learn English language. So, and you first start with pre-teaching vocabulary. Pre-teaching vocabulary is a very important stage of the lesson. You can just do it several ways. So these are the words which I'm going to present for my students, and these are the meaning, the definition of those words. If you like if you don't have internet or some websites, you can just print it out, cut them, and ask students to match them together. If you have internet and if you have good conditions with the internet, you can also do it on this board. You can use classroom screen board to make this matching. You can use Miro board if you are familiar with this board as well, or you can just do it paper-based. Even if you have this kind of presentation, you can ask them just to look at the screen and just match words and definitions. So it's up to you, whatever you do, whatever way you choose. And after students finish matching, all of you of course check, you drill the meaning of those words. And what you can do is vocabulary practice, give them these questions. So they will need to complete these questions using those words. After again, you will give them some time to finish it. And after they finish, you check, of course, And when it comes to checking, you can ask them to read one by one, or you can just, put the answers on the screen so they can self-check, self-correct. This self-checking and self-correction is also a very nice way. So, and if you want to kind of, have some energizers in your lesson, you can kind of, combine vocabulary practice and energizer in the class. So this is how I usually do it. You will give them, like they have the 6 questions, right? You will put some music. Usually on YouTube, you can find music with stops. It's especially for musical chair game. But you will ask your students to just, stand up, go around the class, maybe dance, do some movements. And when the music stops, they need to ask the first question from the person who is in front of them or next to them or near them. And when they kind of, finish discussing the first question, again, you put the music, they will move around the class, they will maybe dance, maybe they will just, jump. So it will be like, both energizer and vocabulary practice. So this way you can ask them just, to ask and answer all these 6 questions. And after they finish, you will vocabulary check them again. So you can prepare this quiz. I prepared this quiz on EducaPlay. This website is also a very interesting one. I can show it to you here. Okay, this is still from the session. Now, so on this website, you can prepare several activities. It can, you can prepare quizzes, matching pairs. You can create different games, which are very interesting. So you can just, create the game and then create challenge for your students. So they will enter this pin on EducaPlay, and they will play on the phones individually, and you will be able to see the results here. Okay, so this is how it works, and I really like EducaPlay. It's a very good website, so give it a try and see how you like it. Okay, so the game which I created was Jumping Frogs, Froggy Jumps, and I like from feedback which I got from my students, they really enjoy it. And these are several types of activities which you can create on this website. I will repeat the website again. It's EducaPlay. Give it a try. You can create different games for adults, young students, any age. So after they kind of finish checking the vocabulary, you can move on to reading. And this is how the reading goes. They will read this post on the internet. You can just, ask one of your students to read, or you can read it yourself. And you will ask them maybe to read, by themselves. So they will read this post. This post says, does anyone have any good tips for practicing English using social media platforms? Most of the time, I just, waste my time. And how can I use social media platforms more wisely? And what you will do, you will divide your students into groups. You can use classroom screen to, divide groups, or you can do it any way you divide your students into groups, and you will give them a piece of reading about each post, about each social platform. And for example, to one of your students, you will give about the text about Instagram, to your second student about YouTube, to the third about Twitter or X. Next one, Threads, Facebook, Telegram, WhatsApp. You can actually, you can choose which social media platforms do you want to show your students. So I only chose these 8, but you can be just, more creative with it. You can choose only 4 of them maybe, or even more. Like we have more social medias like LinkedIn, Одноклассники, ВКонтакте. So you can choose any social media platform and prepare this tips, like how they can use social media platform to learn something. And they will be reading these tips in groups, and then they will share what they learned from these tips in the groups. the person who read about TikTok will tell about the usage of TikTok. The person who read about WhatsApp will share about WhatsApp, and and so on. And this way they can just, practice reading, listening, and speaking. So they will need to read the text. They will need to listen to their, group mate, and they will also need to tell what they learned from this reading. So this one is very good activity if you want to practice all skills. And but you can also give them these, pictures of different social platforms. I chose 8, so I created the poster with 8 social platforms, so they could just see visually, and also just they will do some activities with them later as well. So if you paid attention, all the tips were in first conditional sentences. So using this, you can kind of guide them to learn about the structure of first conditional. We call it guided discovery. So you can ask them, okay guys, can you tell me what were the structures of those sentences? Like, what did you use after if? What is the second part of the sentence? And this way you can just elicit answers from them, and show it on the board, like when do we use first conditional, how do we use it. You can write some examples as well. And after you discuss grammar, you can ask your students now to give their advice using first conditional. For example, they can give advice about TikTok. They can say, like, if you use TikTok, if you watch videos on TikTok, you will improve your listening skills. If you post content on TikTok using English language, you will improve your writing skills. So they will need to give their own tips using first conditional structures. And after they finish doing that task, you will move on to writing part. And I created this kind of, template of different social sites. So this is Instagram. You will print this page and ask them to write caption for this picture. So you can just, ask them to take turns and write how would they caption this picture on Instagram. So here I have some, blanks. They can write it. And this is post from Facebook. They will need to read this post and again write their comments using English. So as you can see, this question is in first conditional. So this way they can just, practice using first conditional even more. Here's another one. This is from Telegram group where they can just, chat. They will ask like, hello, dear, I'm Anissa. Tell me about yourself. They will need to write about themselves. Okay, and this one is from YouTube. So let's imagine they watched the video on first conditional. Now they have to make their own sentences. So you will ask your students to write sentences using first conditional. And this one is from WhatsApp. This is the most popular question which I get. Thanks God. Like, hello, I couldn't come to the lesson. Can you tell me which words did you learn? And using this page, you can check how many of vocabulary, new vocabulary which you taught during the lesson, your students remember. And they will be also sharing it on this post, writing it. So this will be good practice for them, And this one is with typos. They will need to just, read the sentences, find typos, and then correct them here. So this way they can practice several skills. They will practice writing. They will read each other's comments. They will correct each other's comments, can answer each other comments as well, as you can see here. So this way it will be communication on the paper. And of course, not all of our students have phones in the classroom. So that's why it will be very good if you did this on the paper. But if your students, all of them have phones, you can create some posts on social media, so they can just, go there and actually comment and have it chat with them. Okay, and at the end, in the conclusion, I will ask them to, choose the best social platform. Like, which social platform did they like, more, and why? So you can just, print this thumbs up and ask them to stick on their favorite social media platform. Or the other way, which you can do it with Mentimeter, you can create a board. You can share it with your students with QR code, or they can just write pin code, and this way they can write their answers, and you can see like what did they learn from this lesson, how will they use social media to learn, and which was their favorite social media. So it will look like this. They can use the code or scan the QR code and write their answers. You can write different questions there, like what are your 3 biggest takeaways from this session, or like what social media platform will you be using from now on. So it depends on you and your imagination. And these are some websites which I used during my presentation. And that's all. Thank you so much. If you have any questions.
Thank you so much, Sarvinoz. It was really interesting. And of course, like, again, as we should mention, like, teachers are always practitioners, and every time they are using anything new and exciting for the students, and they see, yeah, what's working well, what's working not so well, and it's kind of trying to find, the most effective way to teaching, and also creating an environment where the students will flourish, both in terms of developing their skills, but also in terms of developing their human values as well, right? Okay,
Yes.
thank you so much. And dear all, please now we are opening the floor to questions and answers. Please, you can unmute yourself and ask your question directly to Sarvinoz. If you don't have good mic, you can put your questions in the comment box or chat box, and we will address those questions to our speaker. Thank you. Please, Sarvinoz, yeah, some of them are requesting to share the platforms that you...
Yeah, I will do.
Yeah,
I will share
yes,
everything.
please.
I can share this PowerPoint. I will share all the websites which I used to create it. So
Yeah, exactly. And all those who attended Sarvino's session during our conference last week, today we already shared all the presentation of the conference presenters, speakers. You can find it through the link which we shared in the email. And of course, like, we will put Sarvino's, updated presentation again through our platform on the EWB website, where you can find it under the section webinars, and you will find there both the videos and the presentation itself. Okay, now the questions. So please, let's scroll up and down because people might put some questions in the chat box.
I see one question which says, is it like from Sarvinoz Komilova, is it important to show the objective to students? I think it is important because if students, what I usually do, I just write, I don't write the long ones on the board. I just write short ones, like, 10 adjectives, and, making sentences like 5 or 6 using first conditional, right? And after you finish your lesson, you will ask them, now guys, can you use these 10 adjectives? And if they say yes, of course, you don't just, trust them very fast. You ask them like, hey, okay, can you share which words did you learn? And you put a tick next to this. It will help them see their achievement visually. They will say, oh, now I can use these 10 words, and like make 6 sentences using first conditional. Again, you ask them, now guys, after this lesson, can you do it? Are you able to do it? And again, students of course will say yes. They will never say no. So you will just choose randomly. You will ask them, now, okay, make one sentence, and once they finish, you put a tick. so they can see like what have they learned today, which is very important for the students to see, like, you know, what they can do. And maybe if you don't have those objectives, students will not get this feeling that they learned something. But by seeing them, maybe it will help them just, you know, to realize that, you know, step by step, they're learning, they're progressing. It's important to see the progress. So I hope that I answered this question, and it was my point of view. Of course, I'm not asking you to do it. It's just what I do and what I find very useful.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Sarvinoz. Next question. How often do you use social media in your lessons?
Like in my lessons, not so often, of course, because not everyone has phone. Not everyone is allowed to bring phones to the classroom because their parents don't let them. But I use it, like, you know, outside of the classroom with my students. I have WhatsApp groups, I have Telegram groups with my students where I share, like, you know, Kahoot games, quizzes games, all those games which I prepare. I share it with them on like, you know, WhatsApp, and they can even chat. They can just, you know, have some discussion themselves. You can just, you know, post one question and there will be, like, you know, a lot of discussion going on. So I really like when you kind of, you know, stay connected with your students even outside of the classroom. This is very helpful both for you as teacher and for them, because 21st century, the century of technology, teachers should also, like, you know how to use those things, you know, in a good way, you know, like, you know, efficiently. So I mostly use it outside of my classroom. And on Instagram, if I find some good video, educational video, I can share it with my students. I can even just, you know, share it on WhatsApp if they don't have Instagram. So I use it quite often outside of the classroom mostly.
Okay, noted. Thank you. And now we have a couple of more questions. How do you motivate your students to use social media for educational purpose and not for entertainment or distraction?
It's a good question. I bring myself as an example because I think I mentioned it to many people already, and most of my students know that I self-learned, I self-studied English. So, and I tell them my story, how I was living in the village. I didn't have good internet connection, how I had very small phone, which was partly broken, but still I had Facebook Lite, Twitter Lite on my phone, and I would read posts and comments because it was the only source of English for me. So I bring myself as an example, and all of them are impressed actually by my English and how I used social media, even living in the village. Because some of them, they will kind of, you know, try to find excuses like, oh, we don't have internet, or we don't have this or that. And I will bring myself as an example. So it works most of the time.
Okay, thank you. And now next question. How do you keep yourself updated on the latest trends and innovations in using social media in education?
Just like I self-studied English, I just, you know, again, I search, I do a lot of research. I watch different, like, you know, again, I get and I stay updated using social media. Like, you know, I can find several useful resources on Instagram. And once you watch these kind of videos, the algorithm of Instagram work like this, that you will be receiving these videos all the time. So once I was so interested in AI that every reels was about AI for me. And from there, I, like, you know, learned a lot of social media tips and tricks, websites. So yeah, social media again helps me a lot to, like, for educating myself.
Okay, thank you. Now, next question. How do you think social media will continue to change the way English is taught in the future or not?
Social media, I think yes. Like, the world is not staying the same. Like, we don't teach the same way we used to teach, like, you know, maybe 5 years ago or maybe a year ago. Like, and this is, like, you know, this is what teachers should do. They should, like, change the way they teach all the time. If you teach the same way you were teaching 5 years ago, it means you're not progressing. You have to move on. You have to use different ways, methodologies. You have to be just, like digitally and technologically literate people. This way you can understand your students even more. So yeah, social media will continue, like, impacting our students, but we need to show them, we need to guide them how they can use it, like, for their, like, to benefit from social media and not waste their time. So yeah, but the world is changing. We should change and not stay at the same place.
Okay, thank you. And my question would be like, what works best for your students, right? And of course, like using social media is a good way to teach English, but everything has double sides, yeah? Pros
Yes.
and cons. So today we talked about the pros, the advantages, the benefits of using social media, but what are the disadvantages?
Oh,
From
you
your
can
own
get
experience.
easily you can get distracted. It just, and you find, you will say, okay, I'll just watch one, this video, that's all. And then you catch yourself just, wasting your time for 2 hours. So distraction is the biggest disadvantage. And also, like, when it comes to students, when it comes to, like, teenagers, they are mostly interested in posting and getting likes rather than just, learning something from the social media. So yeah, there are lots of disadvantages, but again, like advantages are also there. So there should be, like, balance on how they use it. We're not going to tell our students, no, don't do it, don't use it for, like, only pleasure, use it only for educational purposes. We cannot ask them to do this. What we can do is to discuss advantages, disadvantages. We can show them how can they use it, like, to benefit. But again, at the end of the day, it's their choice. All we can do is motivate, show, and be an example for them.
Yeah, thank you. And next question, what's your favorite Facebook or Instagram or YouTube page channel besides EWB?
I have several, actually. I like English with Veronica on Instagram. On Facebook, I have different groups. They're all related, like, to teaching, books, and again, teaching. Like, there is a website, there is a page, it's called For Teachers. I really like that. You can get, like, learn more for, like, for your teachers and for teaching websites. And on YouTube, I just, watch randomly. I don't have a preference, like which page I can watch. I just, type what I need and I can watch whatever, like, catches my eye.
Okay, thank you. And Zebuniso is asking, if your student asks you which platform is better to learn and improve your English, Instagram or Facebook, which one will you recommend?
Oh, should I choose between Instagram and Facebook? Well, I think I would recommend them to use Facebook because I learned a lot from Facebook, not Instagram. When I was learning English, I couldn't use Instagram because it would require, like, to have a lot of, like, megabytes, and like it takes, more internet. It consumes more internet. So that's why I would, like, advise them to use Facebook to read posts, comments, and yeah, my choice would be Facebook. Of course, not all the students use Facebook.
Yeah, usually learners are on Instagram.
Yes.
The teachers are on Facebook. That's what we have observed through our social media, like, preferences. So, Raihan is asking, what's the length of preparing this kind of lesson? She means your lesson about using social media. And if you have different level of students, do you prepare for all of them the same stuff of teaching or learning materials, or it's usually like you adapt them?
When I have different levels, of course, I need to adapt them. I cannot use the same thing for all my levels. And usually, the time which it takes me to prepare this kind of lesson, it can, be different. It can vary because if I know what I'm going to teach, if I already have the objectives, it's easier for me to prepare because I know several resources which will help me to just create stuff. But sometimes, of course, it takes longer time, and it depends. I cannot tell you the exact time, but it starts the minimum is 1 hour. 1 hour is a very minimum.
Okay, so we have a question from Mauluda. She's asking. Okay. So Mauluda is asking, how can teachers encourage responsible and beneficial use of social media by students while promoting digital citizenship?
In this case, maybe you can have several lessons dedicated to this topic. Like you can teach them digital literacy, like how to be safe on social media. You can just also include parents maybe, because most of the time, of course, students are at home. We cannot control how they use social media. So you can maybe just include parents in this process as well. You can show your the parents of your students some safety usage of social media, how they can not fall victim to phishing and other websites which are not good for teenagers. So it kind of requires more work. You need to have more lessons. Maybe you can have some webinar maybe, or some discussion groups, but you need more. You cannot just do it with one lesson. Mm-hmm. And parents should also be involved.
Yeah, agree. Thank you. I think before starting using anything new in the classroom, you need first to teach about the basics. Yeah. For example, if you are using social media, what are the basic literacy levels or literacy rules for using social media? Because otherwise, it's so exciting, it's so appealing that sometimes even if there's some messages pop up on the screen while using social media saying you are the next winner of $1 million, like people would would go to that, right? And it's very important for them to kind of identify what social media messages may convey or just may have, what kind of impact they can have. So because for learners it's quite entertaining, using social media, but at the same time being aware, yeah, of what are social media benefits and what are the disadvantages and how to not to be trapped in social media, yeah, as well. So this should be conveyed before even starting using social media in the classroom, right? Okay, thank you so much. And yes, dear all, we are calling for the last questions. If you have to our speaker today, please don't be shy. um, you can unmute yourself and ask your questions. And of course, we welcome your suggestions or any comments. Thank you. All right. I think just only thank you notes to you. We have.
Thank you
Yeah,
for
thank you.
being
Thank
here,
you.
participating.
Yes. And I think for EWB, it is very important that we as a community of teachers share the latest trends, share the latest um, innovations that we use in the classroom, because I think that if we benefit from it, and of course others will be happy to also, yeah, to use them and to benefit. And it's very important for us us just to share our reflections as well. Thank you, dear all, for being with us during this webinar, and our huge thank you to Sarvinoz Komilova. Once again, congratulations on becoming the EWB Innovative Teacher of the Year. And of course, we believe that, you will be an example for many other teachers who are doing the great job, who are working hard, and of course, motivate other teachers to showcase their innovations in the classroom and to participate in our contest next year. Thank you so much, dear all. It was great pleasure to see your active involvement and asking questions. And of course, please stay tuned on EWB. So more events and more opportunities for both teachers and students will be available soon. And once again, thank you, dear all, and have a great evening.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.